Alright, what's good guys, this is Miasin and this is gonna be the OCG metagame breakdown 1, 2, and 3. So this is, I think, the first time in my life that I see this, where Akira basically just took the 3 latest breakdowns and he was like, you know what, let's just turn it into one report, instead of, separating them, because nothing really changed over the past couple of weeks. Other than the fact that people are trying to qualify to the Worlds, actually, with a bunch of decks. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, this is Japan. Top 4 invited to the World Championships. Alright, yeah, a lot happened. Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith is like mega tier 0. Yeah, okay. And of course, this is going to be featuring 343 top performing decks from 69 tournaments during the span of like 3 weeks. In only 3 countries. Yeah, it's not too much. Anyways, before going any further, you already know the drill. Smash the like, subscribe button, blah, 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 blah. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, Snake Eye at 19.8%, and then Yubel at 18.7%, so it's a close second. Even in the TCG, we're seeing something relatively similar. As I'm making this video, Actually, hold on a second. I don't know if the Euros is already over. Well, whatever. By the time I upload it, maybe we're gonna know who's gonna have the trophy and everything. But I think at this point, we already know who's going to Worlds. I don't know if I know any of them, but yeah. Anyway, Snake Eye, yeah. Most builds are playing Fiendsmith, and some are crazy enough to play pure Snake Eye. The Rogue deck. Yeah, a friend of mine actually played pure Snake Eye at the Nats, and he was like, we were all like, oh, wow, okay, you're trying to give wins to your opponents for free. That's cute. Anyways, Yubel, okay, Tenpai, Labyrinth, Rescue Ace. Yeah, the deck that just... It's basically the fire deck, but with more bricks. So I don't know if I really like Rescue Ace, but it's a good deck. Despia, obviously, Fire King. Yo, this deck still exists? Oh my god. Yeah, Ulcanix is not gonna change much as long as we have, you know, pure Snake Eye. I mean, not even pure Snake Eye, but Fiendsmith Snake Eye is just, like, objectively superior than Fire King in, like, every imaginable way. Yeah, people have dropped this deck a while back. Anyways, this is Centurion without King Calamity, so even without the God card, it's still really good in the OCG. Voices Voice, Memento, Ritual Beast. This deck is, like, in the top 5 best decks in, the Euros and everything. We're seeing a lot of people top with the deck, which makes sense. Gimmick Puppet, it's an FTK deck. Even post-banlist with only 1 Gimmick Puppet of strings, you can still make it work. Marincess, this, that, whatever. Yeah, okay, I don't care. I also don't care. I do not care at all. Exodia, holy shit, how did they... huh? Okay, interesting. Yeah, whatever. Naturia? How in the hell? Grass, Ragnarika, Vernalizer, Naturia. This is not at all what people were playing before. They were playing Runic Naturia, which made sense, but I'm pretty sure it's unplayable in the OCG now. So they're almost playing it as a combo pile deck, whereas the Naturia engine, you really just mail the Sacred Tree, and then you search, or like Mole Cricket and stuff like that. So yeah, completely different strategy. Orcus, purely Runic, Tier, Tachyon, Galaxy Ice Tachyon rather. I mean, yeah, that deck's really good though. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like decent competitive when we get in the TCG. Valiant, Medolce, Joichi, yeah, whatever, who cares. Alright, Snake Eye. Okay, so what is interesting about the Snake Eye deck list that people are playing right now? Well, they got Snake Eye Ash limited and Wanted to 1. Well, that was already a thing before. Meaning that they have 4 less starters than us, so they have to kind of compensate by playing more consistency cards. And their solution to that is by playing 3 Populace instead of just 2, and then playing 2 original Sinful Spell Snake Eye. You can have that and any monster that you can place on the field, or any card that you can place on the field, even though Divine Temple is kind of like the only target, and it kind of gets you there. Now, I think you've already noticed it, there is no Divine Temple and no Snake Eye Diabell Star in this deck list. And this guy almost went to Worlds with this deck. It's kind of crazy. Imagine how different the format in the OCG is compared to the TCG, or rather how different people have chosen to like tackle the, you know, the differences, because honestly the only real major difference is the Maxi, and because of that everything follows suit. Yo, Beatrice to 1, that's so stupid. Anyways, yeah, they have no Necroquip Princess, so if they get double hand-trapped, usually all they do is SP pass, which is ass, obviously. And apart from that, I mean, for the most part, it's still kind of like the same deck. I forgot to mention Bonfire is also just a 2 of. So how many starters do they have? 3, 7, oh, sorry, 6, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 18. If my maths are correct. Yeah, okay. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad, but it's not like insane. Nah, actually, no. I'm just kidding. They're playing also 15 hand traps with 2 Cobb at the Grave and a Crossout. Man, that's crazy. In a 40 card deck. So that's like a 91 point something% chance of drawing. Sorry, they're not playing 15 hand traps. They're playing 16. Nibiru is a Crossout target and a card that you can draw off of Maxi. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I think people are disrespecting Nibiru completely in this deck because they're not playing Divine Temple. So you might as well main deck 3 Nibiru at this point. But it's really bad against Yubel, so I understand. People are not playing Molchami Purulia. This is, by the way, before Fugaros or something, the one that actually is unfair, that draws from like the deck and or extra deck. Yeah, you're gonna be drawing like 10 cards with that card. It's basically Maxi 2.0. They got freaking 9 Maxis now over there. It's insane. But yeah, anyways, for the side deck, obviously we need more hand shafts. Obviously, we're only playing 16 in the main deck. So 2 Nib, 3 Bystials, 3 Psyframes. So that's 8 extra hand shafts. Holy shit. And the driver. Yeah, imagine like putting all those cards in after game 1. So that would be 24 hand shafts. I have seen Tenpai Dragon deck list in the OCG with 24 hand shafts. 24 hand shafts in a 40 card deck is like, what, like 80% of your deck is a hand shaft? No, not even remotely close. 2.4 out of 4 equals 1.2 out of 2, which is 60%. There you go. So 60% of your deck is hand shafts. yeah. You're literally playing a hand shaft deck featuring a Tenpai Dragon engine. That's kind of what it's turning into. Anyways, the side deck has Shadow Imprisoning Mirror as a one-of. Very good against Yubel. I think I should make a video on the Imprisoning Mirrors. They're really good cards overall. There can only be one. Obviously, no shit. Summon Limit, Skill Drain, and Azarun. Obviously, everybody knows that There Can Only Be One is really good in Snake Eye, even though it's not, so I don't know what the hell, why the hell this is here. Maybe as a cross-out target, but that makes no sense because it's just a one-of. So I really don't understand. Summon Limit and Skill Drain, that makes sense. And then Azarun with the Top Hat Silhouette Magician, whatever, who cares. Yeah, it's a nice package. But yeah, it's just a little weird to side both of them. It makes sense. I understand, like, people in the Nats, they were side decking Access Code and Dark. Because, you know, the cards are just only really good going second. Dark, I don't even think is needed. Access Code, you kind of need it somewhere, either in the main or the side deck. And Thalamium 7 was another extra deck card that we saw in the side deck. Because, of course, 15 cards in the extra deck is just not enough to accommodate for everything. Even 15 cards in the side deck. Maybe we should look into increasing the size of the side deck. You guys let me know if you think this is a good idea or not. Anyways, next up is Yubel. Holy shit, I just realized that they're playing Raging Phoenix and Zealantis still. Their extra deck space is so loose. I don't understand how that's a thing. No Relinquished Anima because they have Linkuriboh instead. Yo, that makes the smaller hand traps feel completely useless. Anyways, for Yubel, they're really just looking into all the options that they have access to with the Tractus, so they can search any Light Fiend monster. Instead of just searching Luri all the time, you can search some other interesting cards such as Santa Claus, which is basically a kaiju, and then we've got Archfiend Eccentric as well. Now, this is a card that I considered for the Nats, and I was so close to side decking it. I just cut it last second, but it's a very good card. It's a searchable out of Scale Drain and stuff like that. If you have that, if your opponent flips Scale Drain in front of you, you can just search Eccentric with your engine, and then it's not like your opponent can summon the Hugin to protect the Scale Drain, because the Scale Drain negates his own Hugin. So it's nice that even like an MST can be good enough, but then they can out your out with Runic Destruction, which is, it's just bait. Yeah, it's like when your only out is outable. Yeah, no. Anyways, some cards that you can fetch with Angel Blue Tears. The Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. Why? This is usually a thrust target. It's a thrust target because if you get shifted or you get stopped early on, then you can get a card that kind of almost is a turn skipper. But by the time you get to turbo out Karma Cannon with Angel Blue Tears, it means that you already have combo. So I really don't understand why this card is here. And I also don't understand why Escape is here. I think Chamber is better because it stops Dark Ruler. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just want more interruptions. I don't even know if that's needed. Unless you don't have to go into Yama. I mean, don't have to use the graveyard effect of Yama in your combo. Then you can destroy Unchained Soul of Rage and then trigger the Yama and then revive back the Unchained Soul of Rage. That could make sense, but either way, nobody's playing Dark Rule in the OCG, so I guess it can kind of be justified. Okay, this deck building is very interesting. We've got 2 Dark Beckoning Beast. 2, that's a lot. Usually people only play 1 because opening the Spirit Gates is the better card to open, quote unquote, because if you draw this, you have a better time against Droll and Veiler and stuff like that. Because at least you guaranteed the opening of the Spirit Gates, which is also a Monster Reborn. Dark Beckoning Beast, on the other hand, it just doesn't really do much of anything on its own if it gets stopped. Samsara is only a 2 of, which I think I can understand. A lot of people have started dropping it to 2. It's a good card, obviously. It's a almost full combo on its own. The Nightmare Throne is full combo. I guess when you're already playing a bunch of normal summons, you don't necessarily need 3. But for extra consistency, I think I would still play 3, just in case. Because Yubel can break every now and then. It's really unfortunate. 2 Spirit of Yubels, alright, that's fine. I think that's usually the number that everybody's going with. If you're playing only 1, it's kind of risky, but if you're playing 3, I think it's way too much. So I think 2 is like the perfect sweet spot. How many hand traps does this deck play? 3, 12, 13? I mean, that's fine. That's like 86% chance or something to draw a hand trap, which is not too bad. And yeah, no, it has like one of the nastiest extra deck in the game. Like, this is basically a Vicious Astrolabe, but better. It gets to negate any monster effect. It's so freaking ridiculous. Alright, moving on to Tenpai Dragon. Yeah, okay, alright. Yeah, running 1 triple tactic thrust in the main deck is an interesting choice to Surge the Terraforming, which searches the one of Field Spell, because that's what they did in the last ban list, which, by the way, changed absolutely nothing. Literally the worst ban list ever, but to be fair, the OCG is usually really good at doing some hit or miss ban list. I guess you can kind of say the same with the TCG. The issue is that usually our ban lists don't really solve Yu-Gi-Oh! It just solves like the format. So, for example, there would be like a tier 0 format like that. I mean, I guess a bunch of like degenerate decks that exist, and Konami would nuke all of them, but they wouldn't really do anything about the upcoming unfair decks. So it's really just we're replacing a tier 0 format with another, and that's the reason why I don't really like the quality of the ban list that we've been getting in the past couple of years. We don't really get any preemptive hits, which is what I want, you know, to happen. The OCG also doesn't really do that, because they're the guinea pigs for us, actually. They start by having all the cards first, and then, you know, I think Konami of TCG, they make decisions based on what happened in the OCG, because otherwise we don't have enough information. Anyways, how many hand traps does this deck play? 4, 7, 9? Oh, only 2 Ash? What? Okay. 10, 13, 15, 18... Okay, you know what? That's actually almost not even that much, but it's because it's playing like 6 board breakers. So yeah, 2 Droplet, 2 Super Poly, Duster, Thrust. So yeah, that's basically 24 non-engine, which is the number that I always see that number very specifically. And people aren't even all playing the exact same normal summons, but apparently the Draco Monster, very good normal summon, so you should probably play 1, 2, 3 copies of it. Maybe not 3, maybe you want like some diversity in the kind of cards that you have in your hand. Again, Roku is also kind of a normal summon. If you draw it, it's not the best to draw, but it's great to search. And then the white, you can also special summon it from the hand, so you don't necessarily have to normal summon it. Whereas this, you have to normal summon it. So yeah, that's the difference between the white and the Draco, because they kind of all get you to the same place. Because this searches the Chundra or the Genroku, and this searches the Kaimin, which gets you to Chundra or Genroku. So yeah, every path again leads to Rome. Side deck, very interesting. We see Power Filter. This card is a continuous spell card that prevents players from special summoning monsters with 0 or less attack, I believe. So this card is Exodia against Yubel. It just wipes the floor with them. And this deck has a catastrophic Yubel matchup, like super, super, super bad. So you need a card like Power Filter to have a better shot against them. And Kwakimeru Drago is also Exodia against Yubel. So yeah, we have a few decent ways of beating Yubel, because I think more often than not, when you're playing Tenpai, you choose to go first post game 1 against Yubel when you lose the game before. And if you are going second, I don't know, it's just like hand trap or bust, honestly. That's exactly what it is. And that's the reason why Nibiru is not really super popular. It's just because it might be like solid against Snake Eye, but it's terrible against Yubel, terrible against Tenpai. It's just not really, it's not that worth it. I don't know if people are still playing Runic Stun. Okay, Labyrinth is another deck where it does nothing. Rescue Ace, it doesn't do much. Despia, nothing at all. Fire King, very little. Centurion, literally nothing. Voice's Voice, nothing. Memento, it's not that great. Every combo beats Nib in Memento. It's kind of shit, unless you're like super greedy. But yeah, in conclusion, yeah, the best decks are still the best decks. Fiendsmith is basically being played in more than half of the decks in the field. That's ridiculous. That's a tier 0 engine and a half. It's insane. And this is just the start of something new, by the way, because the Fiendsmith engine is just getting more support. The level 4 Scarlet Sorrow something, and the Agnes Day, the Link 3, they're gonna make the engine even better, even though I don't even think those cards are that needed. Still, the fact that it's already, it started off very strong, and it's still getting support is, you know, just mind-blowing. But yeah, you guys let me know how you feel about this format, the OCG in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.